Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm a girl who has everything? Rar. What's up, y'all? Hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night if you're about to sleep. Hi, my name is Phil, and welcome to the Freaky Filipino. That's me, where I talk about weird, different stuff about the Philippines, about culture, the people, and plenty of weird stuff. And I'd like to thank you guys. I made 1,000 subscribers. Woohoo! Well, it's not a big deal for you guys, but it is for me. Hooray! So anyway, before we begin, I think you've noticed my accessories. If you're living here in the Netherlands, Belgium, or some other neighboring countries, and you're looking for authentic handmade Filipino accessories, well, I just got something for you. You can visit cadesignscreations.com, or you can follow them on Instagram, cadesignscreations, where you can see different products from bracelets, necklaces, earrings, other accessories, and even handbags. Oh my gulay. Just visit there and, buy what you want and show off your Filipino bling bling. So today we're gonna talk about the Merfolks of the Philippines. Mermaids and sea creature humanoids. Well, since you guys voted for this to be the next topic. Now, if you grew up in the Philippines, you are pretty much familiar with mermaids. Filipinos are just obsessed with them. And it's very much obvious in television shows and movies. It's just one mermaid to the other mermaid and to the other and mermaid twins. WTF. Now, I thought that this was an easy task because, I'm just gonna be talking about mermaids. Now, let me tell you how wrong I was. Now, this is such a complex topic, to be honest, and this took me a while to gather the information because there were so many names, different stories, and some tales that were adopted due to colonization and westernization. So let's begin where it all connects. So we start off with the earliest records of mermaids, which were the Sirens. Now, the Sirens were vicious creatures who lure sailors with enchanting voice to their deaths. Now, the Sirens were first believed to look like a combination of a bird and a woman, and over the years they shifted into women with fishtails, which we know now as the mermaids. Now, the depiction of a half-human, half-fish can be seen in Mesopotamian artworks from the old Babylonian period. And you heard that right, Babylonian. That's how old they are. I don't know how old it is, but it's old when you hear Babylonia. Now, what's bizarre about mermaids is that they are found in almost in every old tales in different cultures around the world. And if you think about it, you don't see unicorns in Asian tales, nor turtle humanoids in Western stories, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They don't count, okay? But the depiction of a creature with a human upper body and a fishtail in the lower half has been present for centuries or even longer. And some really believe that they really came from the ancient Babylonia and they spread throughout the world. Now, how did they spread? Now, the ocean is just one big world of its own, as they would say. Everything just connects. Let's focus on our attention to the Merfolks of the Philippines. Now, the Merfolks of the Philippines are classified under the Diwatas or Encanto, quote-unquote environmental spirits. Now, they are called the Bantay Tubig, which means the water guardians. And what's different about the merfolks in the Philippines from the Western mermaids is that they are usually found in freshwater lakes and rivers. In a simplified classification of merfolks of how the majority Filipinos would think are just two, and that would be the Sirena and the Shokoy. Now, the Sirena is a classical depiction of a mermaid, which is a beautiful woman in the upper body with long shiny hair and also has a fishtail. And of course, they sing. Dito sa puso ko! Meanwhile, the Shokoy is the male version of the Sirena, which has the total opposite characteristics of the mermaid. Ugly fish-like face with fins and gills. And they also have legs, webbed hands, and their scales are colored brown or green. And they are malevolent. So don't get in their way, okay? And before we move forward, I know what you're thinking. Sirena is a Spanish word, and you are right. So this is where it gets mind-boggling, okay? So, listen up. Now, Sirenas are only mentioned in the Ilocos and places of the Tagalog speakers in stories and documents. Well, why? The northern parts of the Philippines, which is Luzon, have different rivers, though it may look calm and peaceful, they can have strong currents, like, surprise. So a lot of people have died in these rivers and don't have a good explanation why they died. So when the Spaniards came, they also fed this idea that these unexplained deaths could have been the doings of a sirena. Someone died? Oh girl, that's a sirena. Oh, Dios mío. So they gave this idea of what a sirena looked like. So that's how the name sirena became known. And this is why old tales and documents use the word sirena. But during this time, other regions of the Philippines have already names for them. In the Visayas region, they have actually two. And it's the Katao for the Bisaya and Hiligaynon speakers, and Ugkoy for the Waray speakers. Now the Visayans already have an image of what the Katao and Ugkoy look like, way before the Spaniards told about the sirenas. Now, in the island of Negros, the natives consider the Katao as a fabulous fish and can be found in the sea. Yes, you heard that right, fabulous. They are believed to be a human-sized fish, and again with the upper body of a woman and also long beautiful hair. But they didn't say beautiful face, no. Now in the Visayan language, the word ka is directing to a noun or adjective, or in translation it means in likeness of or kind of. For example, nindut is nice. And if you see something sort of nice, you say, hala, kaninot ba ana? And ugly is bati. Ngi kabatig nanggod niya. So if you translate katao, it is a likeness of a human. Unlike the sirenas, the upper body is entirely human. The kataos are humanoid fish. In the province of Agusan del Sur, the locals living in Gibong River describe the katao of having fish scales of a janitor fish, which makes a lot more sense if you compare it to the sirenas. Because human skin can't handle water for a long period of time. Your skin gets wrinkly. And some would believe that the katao is an extinct fish, and they failed to reproduce because they were all females, as they say. Now the ugkoys were the male versions of the kataos and can be found in fresh waters. And I believe that this is where the Tagalogs and Ilocanos got their shokoy from, because the description of the ugkoy is similar to the shokoy. Ugly scaly sea creature. No hate, okay? That's what the books describe, you guys, okay? Now in Zambales, there is a mermaid that is quite unique from the rest of the merfolks. It's called Mambobuno. Unlike any other merfolk, instead of having one fin, they have two actually. Why? Because the more the merrier. Same features and attributes as the other merfolks though. Scaly fish-like skin, not attractive. Same family, same characteristics. Except they have two fins. And some of you are wondering if these creatures are friendly as the sirenas as depicted in the movies. Nuh-uh. They kill. They kill, bro. Well, it's either they kidnap you or drag you all the way down under the water, especially men. But there's one particular merfolk who will take it to another level, and that is the Magindara. They are either said to be the guardian deities of the Ilocano fishermen or the Aswang ng Dagat, who will eat adult humans but don't harm kids. And again, they can use their lustrous voice to lure men as the Sirens would do. While they have colorful, sharp scales, in short, they are fabulous with a cannibalistic approach. And yeah, merfolk shouldn't be messed around with, or else they would snatch you and drown you or eat you to that extent. But that's not the only thing they can do. They can actually do more. Like I said, these are diwatas, so they are supernatural. Just like sirens, they have the ability to put men into trance with their beautiful voices and lure them into their deaths. The natives of Leyte accused the kataos for the misfortunes in the sea. Sailors would be hypnotized from their songs that they couldn't control their boats and led it to their destruction. Now, if the merfolks aren't able to lure men with their lustrous voice, they can transform themselves as humans and personally lure them. Now, there was a tale called The American and the Sirena. So the story goes that there's this Sirena who was in love with this American soldier. But the problem is the American couldn't stand the foul fishy smell of the Sirena. So every time the American soldier gets close to the mermaid, even though he's under the spell of the Sirena's voice, the soldier ends up collapsing. Girl, I'm sorry, it won't work. It's not him. It's definitely you. So the mermaid transformed herself into human just to get the American. But at the end, the mermaid failed. You can hide your looks, but you can't hide your smell. So another ability is that they are able to control water. Yes, they are the legit waterbenders. Locals in Zambales say that they have the ability to make water rise up quickly to drown their victims. And aside from that, they can also curse you with illnesses. So if you watch my last video about hilot, now you would remember the 4 elements of the human body. So if you have a urinary or bladder problem, it falls under the water element. It means that you've been cursed by a water-based diwata, which are the mermaids. Yeah, I know they're not the friendliest creatures as depicted in Disney. Now, some of you are wondering if humans are really part of their diet. Well, the answer is no, for most of them. Now, there are plenty of reasons why they're such an to humans. First reason is that they are very territorial and they really hate humans loitering around their homes, causing disturbances and damages in waters. And that's why they're called bantay tubig, quote unquote, water guardians. Of course, I'd be pissed off if someone's loitering around my house, right? But I can't drown them. That's illegal. One of the reasons that they kill is that the victims are a tribute to their gods. Across the country, locals who live in the riverbanks are on high alert when the rainy season starts. It is believed that they, the Sirenas, collect their yearly sacrifices, and it's usually boys. And there is another reason why they kidnap boys specifically. Now, this is kind of a bit messed up, so hold on to your seatbelts, okay? The merfolks, especially the Sirenas, are lonely creatures, and they kind of want a companion. So they kidnap young boys and take care of them, and pamper them as much as they can, and when the boys are at the right age, they marry them. If you ask me, yeah, it's a bit messed up. It's a different level. Now, there is an old tale called The Boy and the Mermaid, where the boy was kidnapped and was taken to a beautiful mansion under the water. I don't know how she built the mansion, but yeah, that's a great getaway house for a vacation. The mermaid took care of him so she could marry him in the future. But luckily, the boy escaped. And this tale has been told many times to scare children not to go to the lakes and rivers alone. Now, how can we prevent getting killed by a mermaid? One thing for sure is to stay out of the water. From lakes, rivers, and ocean, just stay away from them. Which is quite impossible if you're living in the Philippines. But if ever you stumble into a sacred area where the merfolks might live, you need to leave an offering so that they will not curse you. So what you need is to give a small portion of chicken in a coconut shell and place it near the river. And if you're very lucky, sometimes, just sometimes, they give something back in return. Like I said, merfolks are lonely creatures, but they are rich. ASF. They are the Versace of the sea. They could be your sugar mommy if you want to. Especially the mermaid or naiad of Bontocan Falls. Well, according to tales, she owns a lot of gold in her cave. Like everything inside is gold. From her accessories, her furniture, and even her servants. According to locals, if you offer a white cock, the rooster, not a white man's thingamajiggy, cock-a-doodle-doo, like everything white from the feathers, legs, claws, the bills, and other parts, she will emerge from the cave and give you bountiful gold. But sometimes she gives it freely because, she feels bad for you. But you have to keep it as a secret. If ever you disclose her secret, the gold that was given will magically disappear like poof. Keep your mouth shut if you want to be rich. If ever you get kidnapped and taken to the mansion, just like the tale of the boy and the mermaid will ask you a set of questions, and you have to be very mindful of what you answer. Never say you eat fish, meat, or vegetables. Just rice and fruits. Yummy. Because squash tendrils and young fern shoots with curly tips are parts of a mermaid's hair. And since she is a mermaid, the other half is human and the other half is fish. Eating fish and meat signifies that you're eating her. Thus, you become her enemy. So if ever you get cursed by a mermaid, you have to find a healer, because he is the only one who can remove the curse from you. So what happens if you get grabbed by a mermaid to your death? Well, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that anymore. You dead. So the only way to survive is that you stay away from water. That's it. Or it's either you're a woman or a gay guy. I'm not kidding, guys, okay? Or other documentaries in the Philippines, supernatural things are the top views. Millions of views. Now, there had been a couple of stories that, for instance, someone gets grabbed by a mermaid. Now, as soon as the mermaid realizes that, this is a gay guy, now she just returns the person.
Sabihin, binugas yan talaga ng bakla. Pati ang mga pangit, alang nalulunod na pangit sa minalungaw.
Yeah, she's choosy. But yeah, believe it or not, Filipinos still believe in mermaids and other supernatural merfolks. We know that our ancestors needed an explanation for these stuff, especially for unexplainable occurrences, like how it's mostly men who died. Well, of course, the breadwinners are usually the husbands, so most deaths that occur in seas are fishermen. Also, more deaths occurred in rainy seasons because that's where the flash floods happen. Like, hello, we're surrounded with water, guys. And aside from that, we have a lot of crocodiles in the Philippines. And they are humongous because they are saltwater crocodiles. And the best part is that they can be found in both freshwater and saltwater. But honestly saying, it's still very interesting because the image of a mermaid is quite universal and they have a lot of common attributes to one another. So do you believe in them? For me, they might be true. While the ocean is not fully explored yet, and we don't know what lurks beneath the deepest ends of the ocean. Well, I'm still open for it, so maybe in the future they might discover something. And so that was a fun talk again, guys. And please don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And if you want suggestions, you can comment down in the comment box below. Or you can follow me on Instagram and just message me personally, okay? I'm a good person sometimes. So have fun and see you next time.